Two things I was not prepared for when I first came to the Christian faith. Number one, I immediately wanted to tell everybody I knew about Jesus. And number two, people weren't quite sure how to take me. Now, it may not be that way for everybody, but it was for me, and also for Saul, who we're reading about in Acts 9. Now, remember, Saul is the ringleader of those persecuting Jesus' followers. So much so, he goes to the high priest and is like, hey, I want to go to Damascus and bring back Jesus' followers there to lock them up and throw them in jail. But on his way to Damascus from Jerusalem, he encounters Jesus himself. Jesus says, hey, Saul, why are you persecuting me? Saul says, who are you? Jesus says, it's me, the one you're persecuting. He falls to the ground, loses his eyesight, doesn't see, eat, or drink for 3 days. Now, once he gets to Damascus, a man named Ananias comes to him. Ananias is sent to Saul by God to witness to him, to give him his sight back, and to fill him with the Holy Spirit. Acts 9 really shows us how God works in all different ways, all together, to bring salvation to folks. So Ananias goes to Saul and he's like, hey, look, I was sent by God to lay hands on you, to heal you, to let you regain your sight, and to fill you with the Holy Spirit. And immediately Saul is filled with the Holy Spirit and regains his eyesight. Acts 9, verse 20. Immediately he began to proclaim Jesus in the synagogue, saying, he is the Son of God. What's the first thing Saul does when he's filled with the Holy Spirit? He begins sharing the gospel and telling everybody why they need Jesus. And then what happened? Everybody was like, hey, this is the dude that was just trying to do away with all of Jesus's followers. And now all of a sudden he's proclaiming Jesus. They weren't sure how to take him. And then it happens again in verse 26 when he returns to Jerusalem. These folks knew the old Saul and they weren't sure how to take all these changes. But eventually, with the help of Barnabas, they all come around. A lot of times that happens to us, especially when we receive our salvation later in life. Folks who know us know how we lived before Christ. And if they haven't been through a rebirth on their own, sometimes they don't really understand how all of a sudden you can just do a 180. I've seen that in my life, and I've also been on the other side of it. Before my salvation, when I would see other folks just all of a sudden change and be all about Jesus, I wasn't really sure how to take them either, which to us can be difficult. But we can definitely take comfort in the fact that Saul, who later becomes Paul, went through the same thing. That's my main takeaway from Acts chapter 9. In the comments, let me know your thoughts and anything else that you took away.